गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णू गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरा गुरुर्साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। ॐ सहनावतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. Let there be peace, let there be peace and love amongst all the human beings of the universe. Let there be peace, let there be peace. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We have started contemplation on the chapter 6, the power of thought, wherein we have studied revision Endovapakhyanam. This Endovapakhyanam, story of Endova, is a very enchanting story which tells us the power of Bhavana. What is the power of Bhavana has been told here. And inner faiths are of three types, that is Sattvic, Rajasic, and Tamasic. So faith depends on the nature of mind. And as is the mind, so is the Shraddha. However is your mind, that will be your Shraddha, either Tamasic, Rajasic, or Sattvic. So everything is inherited on the basis of mind, and spiritual practice is changing our mind. Your mind has to be subtler and subtler, quiescent and quiescent, tranquil and tranquil, and overall relaxed and cool. It should always go with the divinity. You are not separate from the divinity. In fact, divinity is only expressing as you. So that should be known. So we have the infinite potential, we have also an infinite opportunity, but the time given to us is finite. So, how to explore this infinite opportunity and infinite time, which is infinite potential within a limited time? It has depends on your principle of divinity which you are following. Within the limited time, we are supposed to attain the Shreya, and for this purpose only this contemplation is there, because the prayer should not drive you away. And whatever we are doing in the life, we should see that we are always be happy and not for miserable. We want that we should be happy. Scripture says don't seek happiness but express happiness, discover happiness. If that is the meaning of spiritual practice, then our extrovertness will automatically disappear, and we'll know that how these all sages and sayings are remaining happy irrespective of what is the status. So it has been told in the first chapter, that is Endopakhyanam. We'll just quickly review that. This original Brahmaji has seen the sun from the Hindus, Brahmanda, and then he asked, "You are from where you have come?" In one of the corners of Jambuddip, he sees that, and then he explains, in that earlier place, there was a family, Kashyap family, and the name of that person was Indu, and he has prayed the Brahmaji and then asked for a boon, and then he got the boon that he will have 10 sons. And these 10 sons, with the time goes, parents died, and then these sons become miserable, and they decided what to become, either a doctor or an engineer or a CA or lawyer. The elder son says, "No, no, why can't we become Brahma only?" And so then he contemplated, and everybody contemplated. And after the fall of their body, everyone became their Brahmanda, and there were 10 Brahmas. And I am one of that Brahmas, and grandson, the one among the many, I am that Bhaskara, I am that son amongst them. So see the capability of mind. This is the capability of mind. Mind can do anything, whatever you think. So think positive. Who stops you from thinking positive? But what happens is mind. It always goes towards the negativity. It always goes towards the criticism. Always goes towards the desires. It always goes through the ego, and that monster ego, that desire, and that uh, longing for some things or other will always make our life miserable. So, what is our destination? Destination should be freedom from body identification. Man creates the body only out of the imagination. We have to understand that everything is happening in the mind, and the delusion is caused by all these miseries. And Aham Brahmasmi, if you say, then also duality is maintained. So what has to be done? The mind only survives because of the duality and dualism. So we have to see that whether you like it or not, whether you want it or not, whether you know it or not, you are divine. So you should be always practicing transcendent, immanent, one without second. So if at the end of life it is only body perishes and not the mind, so spiritual practice is freedom from the body identification. So how to do that? Body identification will always happen, but don't take it to be real. You should not take it to the real. And give up the choice of joy or sorrow. You will sometime you will be joyous, sometime you will be sorrowful. So very nice poetic verb is there. Thevile ananti तैसेची राहावे चित्ती असू द्यावे समाधान. What is the meaning of this? जैसे भगवान ने अपने को रखा है वैसे रखिए और मन में समाधान ट्रैंक्विलिटी रहना चाहिए. The mind should be tranquil in all the situations. That's what has been said here. जेहि विधि राखे राम तेहि विधि रही है. What are the way God Ram keeps us? How he keeps us? Sometimes he will listen to us, and with that listening, what happens is when he listens to us, it is Hari Krupa. He listens to us, so it becomes Hari Krupa. And if he doesn't listen to us, it goes against us, then it will be Hari Ichha. So whether it is Hari Krupa or Hari Ichha, keep your mind tranquil because it is the divine world. It is unmanifested world which becomes manifested as though it is manifested. Actually, nothing is happening, but it seems that it is manifested. And there is no power in the world which can destroy our mind or control the mind. We have to control the mind. Then we may torture the body by doing the tapasya, but nothing can torch the mind. Mind is depends on the individual how you use the mind can be used for constructive purpose, mind can be used for a destructive purpose. Like this Hindu sun has used it for a constructive purpose. Highest they have created the brahmand, 10 brahmandas they have created. And how they have created jnanamastu chiraya va, they only just thought about it and it got created. So only the state of brahma which is indestructible till the end of universe is like my being. With the consciousness that I am Brahman creator, let you have the contemplation. I create and withdraw for a long time. So they did this bhavana for a long time. They continued this bhavana for a long time. And finally, when their bodies dropped and all where there were 10 Brahmandas in your, the original Brahma also got surprised how this is possible. And that is the power of mind. So similarly, now it has been telling the second story, which is a negative story. Same power of mind has been used for a wrong thing. So how that has been used? Vitopakhana, the story of sensualist has been told. So let us now enter into that second story, that is the shloka number 13. Manasa bhavyamano hi dehi tamyati dehaka deha bhavanaya mukto deha dharman bandhate. What did it mean by that? Being contemplated by the mind, body goes to the state of embodied. The mind contemplating the body becomes the body itself by identification. When you keep on thinking about body, that human being, his mind thinks that he is only body. And deha bhavanaya mukta deha dharmana badhyate. Freed from the thought of the body, one is not afflicted by the attributes of the body. अपन अभी सोचना छोड़ दो बॉडी के बारे में तो बॉडी आपको परेशान नहीं करेगी. Further on 14th shloka, in the Newman iti khyatam magadeshu mahapati ahilya nama tasya sita bharya kamalalochana indra nama vitakashit tasmit neva puravasat. So what is said that now the story started, we took Pakyana. Initially the principal is told how the story started. There was a king known as Indradumna among those of the Magad country. In Magad country there was a king called as Indradumna. He had a wife named as Ahilya with a lotus-like eyes. Lotus like he has a wife called as Ahilya. So there was Indradumna and wife's name was Ahilya. And a sensual person named as Indra lived in the city. This is a story similar to the story which has been happened before the Rama avatar came. That Ahilya ran away with the Indra, and then she was made as a stone, and that Ahilya, when Rama touched her, it became Ahilya. It came out of that stone, and that is a story well known to everyone. So here in, so in this now Magad Desh, there was a king Indradumna and their wife was name was Ahilya. But in their city, the sensual person used to live as a Indra used to stay. So what the story further says, Sahalya Sahalya Sarda Indrasya Yada Bhutpura Tada Karneti Hasevyam Tasman Indriyan Vrajet. That Ahilya, having heard from the legends what happened to the Indra in company with the Ahilya, in days of yore become attached to that Indra. So what happens is now this Indradumna's wife Ahilya gets attached to that Indra, that is a sensual person. And एवमन्यो मासक्तं भावमाल्योक भूपति तावो भावपि तज्जात दुर्मति सलिला क्षय. The king, seeing their state of being strongly attached to one another, thus abandoned those two evil-minded persons in a tank or a water reservoir. When the king came to know, this Indradumna came to know that this Ahilya is in affairs with that Indra. And then king, because he's a king, he has to punish. So he has evil-minded person has been put into the water tank reservoir. Nothing happens to them because they're so much attached, grossly, bodily, mentally. तो तू जसतु स्पृष्टो न खेदमुज्जम्नतु प्रथितो गजपादेषु कशाभीताडितापपि ज्वालाभिदहमानो न च नापतु कामपि व्यथाम् राध्यदपुचयमानो तौ चत्रु मुदिताशयो. So 18 and 19 shloka says, but those two laughed. Now these two people were so much attached, laughed with satisfaction and did not suffer distress. All this punishment they were enjoying very happily. Nothing happens to them. Tied to the leg of the elephants, and even bitten with the whims, and being burned by the flames, they do not suffer any pain. Then, being asked by the king, those two joyous dispositions said. So, king asked, so much of trouble I am giving. What are the troubles given? He has put all of them under the water reservoir. Then he has beaten them, then given under the legs of the elephant, burned them with the flames, and suffered with the pains. But all these five things cannot separate them, and their joyous disposition. Then king asked them in 20th shloka, Ave khedam na jana jani vi jata vannena tam mano bhavitam tivra vegena manasayat mahipate tadeva pasyat akilam na sharira vicheshtitam. So when he asked what they said, we too have become so wholly absorbed in one another, do not know the agony. King, whichever is thought of by the mind resolutely, it sees that only in entirety and not the working or sensation of the body. So now they are telling the philosophy to the king. That they said, we are so much attached. What you can do to us, nothing you can do to us. And this is all our thought of the mind. Our mind has thought like this, so we are now uh, entirely absorbed in one another. Then after that, what king told? Eva muktastato raja vacha kamadharorapi satyameveti vidyayata ubho niravasayat. Then the king was told, knowing the words of those two, who are blind with passion, as only true, drove them away or banished them. So finally, king got fed up with them. And what the king said? King has then uh, said goodbye to them, and they made him go out of their his city, country. He drove them out. So what is that now? Vasishtha Rishi is telling Rama, Evam Rama Jagat Yasmin Visharire Shariniyam Evam Manashariram Tu Shri Prakare Chala Sada Akinchit Karamanyascha Shariram Masa Nirvitam. Rama, thus there are two bodies for the embodied one of the individual soul in this world, mental body acting quickly and always knowing indeed, and the other body made up of the flesh is powerless to do anything. So what has been told to Rama now by this Vasishtha Rishi? There are the two bodies, one is mental body, second is a physical body. Now this mental body actively quickly moves here and there, whereas the physical body is a powerless. It can't do anything to anyone. So that is a conclusion which is drawn. And apart from that, Vitopakyana tells the negativity, what one should not do, even though this principle which is there, like Bhavana, whatever you can do, everything by Bhavana, but they have done the wrong Bhavana, which has been shown here, and then naturally at the end of that, they will be suffering. So this Vitopakyana tells us one more thing, by cursing us, he said, this Ahilya, you will be waste your power of tapasya and it cannot touch our mind. Our present understanding is that mind is in the body, and because of the body, mind is functioning. But it is other way around. It is our own bhavana that we are the body. Mind takes shape of the body, then subsequently. Whatever is our last thought, that comes as a in the next birth. So mind can create body only through the imaginations. Body is created by parents, but the embodied one, that is jiva, is not created by the parents. What mind thinks? This body is I am. But what is the logic? No logic. I am because of this body. Again, there is no logic. Before this body was born, I was there, yes. In this body, mind is there, yes. When body is dropped, mind does not get dropped. Recognize this truth in the life. So mind continues whether you are before the born, with the birth, or after the birth. Mind continues with that. So you have to mind your mind. Unless you mind the mind, nothing will happen. People have given body identification, and he is not influenced, conditioned, disturbed by the Deha Dharma. Deha Dharma is there. It will be sometime feeling some bad, some problem will come in the body. It is obviously there. Go to the doctor, try to correct it. Everything is happening only in the mind. Nothing happens to the body. Unless we recognize this or get convinced this because of this principle, these worldly problems will not cease. Because as the body, we want to live in this world, but it is not possible. We are living as a mind and not as a body. So see Rama, the power of mind. Why we why we sit for a meditation when somebody goes for a meditation? Freedom from body identification. There is no other goal. We have to be freedom from body identification. Unless this is done, you may do whatever you have to do. You may go to lot of pilgrimage. You may go to whatever tirtha yatras. You may do lot of puja, japa, dhyan. Nothing is going to help you unless you drop the body identification, you drop the jiva identification, you drop the Ishwar identification. देहात्मक भाव का त्याग, जीवात्मक भाव का त्याग, ईश्वरात्मक भाव का त्याग, then only remains as Chaitanya. Then you will remain as a Chaitanya. So the person who is not opposing anything, including not happening, nothing happening, is with the divinity. So no beginning, no experience of growth. That's what is there. So that which is presence in the absence also, that is our essential nature. So now in this example, like this Ahilya was overpowered by the sensual aspect of the Indra. So, and she had a desire, and this desire only created a bhavana, and that bhavana created their attachment, and this desire is cause of all these miseries. So we are the creators of all our miseries. There is nothing, no outside problems. So what is been told here? If you are a married person, if you have family, you are not supposed to go and interfere amongst the children's families and their working style. Let them do. Let them do, because it is their bhavana. You can maximum advise if they really want advice about you. But if they don't want advice, let them be happy at their place and you be happy at your place. So why not to dissolve the mind? Unless we dissolve the mind, nothing can come in our share. So what is the dissolving the mind? All the thoughts in the mind has to be dissolved. And after that, what will become? You will be just being. Just being is nobody, and nobody is only happy. So don't get lost in all these procedures here and there and always creep on crubbing like, oh, at this time I am worried, worried, worried. I have done so many japa, I have done so many dhyan and all that. Still, I am worried. So this aspect of worrying has to live. Unless you leave this aspect of worrying, nothing is going to come in our life. So you and I is a state of devotion and knowledge. I and you is a state of knowledge and devotion. But the truth is neither I nor you. This is ultimate truth. So division between the knowledge and devotion is the highest of the confusion. Actually, the knowledge itself is a devotion and devotion itself is a knowledge. Love and knowledge cannot be two, it has to be one. So just being and transcend the mind. When you go to the sleep, you transcend the mind, and what happens is the highest mantra which we follow is nothing to do, nowhere to go. Everywhere situation is created, and that through that situations, the individual person gets the experience, and through that experiences we learn. And in the Kathopanishad, Nachiketa and Yamaraj Samad, it has been very nicely told that who is an ideal seeker of the truth. If you want to be an ideal seeker of the truth, then you have to follow the divinity within. And how that's to be followed not by going to the Himalaya or leaving the place, but it has to be followed that even the relative world, Whatever is happening, joyful situation or miserable situation, the mind should not become joyful or miserable. It should always remain happy, tranquil, contented, blissful, cheerful, and over and above, relaxed and cool. With these prayers. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat. Sri Ramachandra Arpanamastu, submitting the divine fruits to the holy fruits of Sri Ramachandra.